Welcome back to Sheffield. It's the final qualifying round of Snooker's UK Championship. Andrew Higginson against Liang Wenbo for us this evening.
Higginson to break.
Wins on this table for Luca Brissell and Martin Gould already. Here's Liang Wenbo from China, former quarter-finalist in this tournament 3 years ago. He's currently 42nd in the world, and he's still only 25 years of age. Seems to have been around a while, but still a young man. As is Andrew Higginson, he's only 34. He's 28th currently in the world rankings. His best run in the UK Championship, last 16, 2 years ago. His first to sixth, the winner plays Barry Hawkins in York.
Andrew Higginson
to break. Coming up in just over a week's time when the tournament starts on December the 1st. Andrew Higginson to break in frame one. Meanwhile, Neil Folds will be commentating on Ken Doherty against Michael White on our other stream. Also tonight we've got Tom Ford against Hugh DeLue, Marco Fu against Rod Lawler, Ryan Day against Matt Selt. It's been a fascinating day already. Some interesting winners, from 17-year-old Luca Brissell to 55-year-old Steve Davis, and all points in between, including the likes of Jack Lazowski, Martin Gould, Michael Holt, Chow Yu-peng among the names who've made it through. 5 more to join them tonight, then we'll have our last 32 lineup, the top 16 plus the 16 qualifiers, to do battle for one of snooker's oldest and most prestigious tournaments. 35 years now, but 1977 the first staging. Most of the guys here today were not even born then. I think this will be a close match. Wouldn't have thought it'd be too quick either. Be well contested, and I'd imagine that we're going to need a bit of sorting out, because it's a big prize at the end of all this to get through to the final stages. I think these two are evenly matched. Higginson may be more a kind of reliable player, if you like. Liang Wenbo a bit more erratic, but terrifically gifted and very entertaining to watch. You never really know what he's going to do. To be honest, I don't think he does. Steve Davis, who won the first of his record 6 UK titles 32 years ago in 1980, he finished off against Jamie Burnett 6-2 with a 1-4-1 total clearance. Terrific stuff from the Nugget. He'll play Ali Carter in York. And the winner of this match, as I say, plays Barry Hawkins. That'll be the first match on table 2 a week tomorrow, 11 o'clock British time. On table 1 it'll be John Higgins against Michael Holt. Well, delightful pot from Liang Wenbo, the first of the match. He's held nicely for the black as well. We've had 2 1-4-7s this week, of course. Andy Hicks and Jack Lazowski. Liang Wenbo made one in the now pretty much forgotten Bahrain Championship 4 years ago. That was in the qualifying for that tournament. As I say, he blows hot and cold, and it's only 2.5 years since he joined the top 16 for the first time, but he's now 42nd, so it tells you that results have not really gone his way consistently in the last couple of seasons.
9.
But of course these guys are playing so much snooker, so many tournaments to play in, that there are opportunities to turn any bad spell into a good spell. This season he's been reasonably steady in the
16.
Various PTCs. Hasn't really pulled up any trees though in the ranking events.
17.
In fact, he only qualified for one of the first 4 major ranking events. That was the Australian Open, where he lost 5-3 in the first round to Matthew Stevens. So he needs some points on board, does Liang. He needs to get going in the tournaments that really matter, and that will take you up the world rankings.
24. 25.
Quarter-finalist in the UK Championship 3 years ago when it was staged in Telford. Lost there 9-2 to John Higgins.
$32. 43.
Fifth black coming up then. Well, all right, it's early days, but if we had a third 147, that would be a first. We've had tournaments where we've had two before, but never one with three. We have to start tightening the pockets up, I think. But the standard is high, and of course it's been raised by the mere fact that
48.
there are now so many tournament opportunities. Some people knock the PTCs, but they've given the players, particularly lower down the rankings, the chance to build up some form and confidence. You can just about see this red, it would seem. He's had a good look.
Well,
he's still on blacks, isn't he? We've had 94 official 147s.
56.
One of those came in the 1987 UK Championship, the first in this tournament. We've had a few since then. The first official 147, Steve Davis, 1982. So we're talking 31 years just coming up in January. But we've had a real spurt of them the last few years. Again, more tournaments.
57.
Main thing is the frame, which should be his 3 or 4 shots time. Well, that the prize at the moment is 2,500 plus 500 for the pre-TV highest break. That's it could be sliced 3 ways. Andy Hicks, when he made his, must have thought he was in the money. Maybe not. Chap Lazowski made one the next day, i.e. yesterday. If we were to have 3 in 3 days, then, well, that would be
64.
extraordinary. And perhaps the most extraordinary thing is that no one would really be that surprised.
$65.
He needs one more red after this black to secure the frame.
$72.
But these reds, they're going to need a little attention.
$73.
Well, if you can go into them, you feel he'd be unlucky not to finish on one. Well, it could have been a lot better. The cue ball has just skimmed off them. Still on this red,
80.
but cue ball close to the side cushion. This is missable. And of course has to run through for the black, which he's done. He's played that well. This is a great chance now. Well, what about this? This would be some way to start, wouldn't it? This could be 3 1-4-7s in 3 days. Slow up, slow up. It's just run a bit far.
88.
Still on the red, but it's awkward now. He's going to need the long stuff and the rest. Well, this is not guaranteed. He's got to also hold the cue ball, of course, for the black. And that's a shame. It's rolled on just an inch or two further than he intended. Well done.
89.
Great pot. Now then, another big shot coming up. It's cut back black. He's got to hold, play a cannon to stay on the reds. But the main thing, of course, get the black in. So many times in this sort of shot, you see the player concentrating on that cannon and missing the black. He's got to pop this black to continue. One good positional shot could make all the difference here. Oh, horrible miscue. That's horrible.
Liang Wenbo, 89.
Well, it's not a maximum, but it's a good start nonetheless. 89 from Liang Wenbo. He's disappointed, particularly to finish on a miscue there, but the frame's his, and he leads 1-0 with that 89. Well, dramatic stuff then to start here. That's the first frame of the evening on any table completed. Although Tom Ford's about to win the first against Udaloo. He's on a big break there, but just shows you, we talk about maximums coming thick and fast, but 94, in the 30 years since Steve Davis made his, we've had tens of thousands of frames played in professional tournaments, so 94 is not very many. Leo Scullion there was coming close to refereeing one. Well, who knows, the next frame could bring anything. That's the fascination of snooker. But anyway, it's 1-0 to Liang Wenbo. Just to remind you of the other matches, Ken Doherty, Michael White, Neil Folds is commentating on that one on the other stream. Marco Fu, Rod Lawler. Tom Ford against Udaloo and Ryan Day against Matt Sell. That could be an interesting one. Two players who like to get on with it. Well, if you're just joining us, you've already missed some drama. Liang Wenbo was looking good for a 1-4-7 there, but just miscued on 89 on the black. Nevertheless, he leads 1-0. This is frame 2. First to 6, remember. We'll play Barry Hawkins, the Australian Open champion, in the first round proper in York. It's always a great time of the year, this. The UK Championship coming up, then, of course, Christmas, and then in the new year it's the Masters. So two big tournaments coming up in the space of around about a month. Of course, the Masters is just for the top 16. Last thing Andrew Higginson wanted to do there, of course, was give Liang Wenbo another opening after the way he started, but that's what he's done with this red to the middle.
1.
Well, what about that for a shot? He looks very sharp. Of course, he won a match yesterday. did Liang last night. 6-5 over Anthony McGill, real nail biter, good workout. So he has had a match here. Andrew Higginson coming in relatively cold, although of course he's played plenty of snooker of late, as they all have.
6.
That's nicely done, frees the black. Well, he's away again. And it's worth recording that around the time he got to the quarterfinals 3 years ago in the UK Championship, of course he'd just been in the Shanghai Masters final as well.
14.
He was looking like he might overtake Ding Junhui as China's #1. There's only a couple of places between them in the rankings at that point. But he has slipped back for whatever reason.
15.
42nd in the world rankings. I think most people who follow snooker closely would feel that he should be in the top 32 at the very least. But unfortunately the rankings are not based on opinions but on points earned, simple as that. And of course points earned come from results, which he hasn't been getting, not consistently enough anyway. Well, he's got an angle here to go into the pack of reds again though. Don't miss the black. Don't miss cue this time. Skimmed off them. Just skimmed off the side of them. That's why the white's finished there.
30.
It's disappointing because it was a big target. Still a chance to pop this one. No, didn't cue it well.
Liang Wenbo, 30.
Worse still, he's left it on. Andrew Higginson looking to pot his first ball of the match. I get the feeling this will be it.
Well,
Well, it never rains, but it pours. First ball potted, but it won't count because he's gone in off the middle. This is not a good start, is it, for the witness man? Terrific pot again from Liang Wenbo. Well, he's back in immediately. Again, the last thing that Andrew Higginson wanted. Little incidents like this early in a match which can really dictate the pattern of what's to come. One player gets their confidence up, the other one is right on the back foot. Now, here Liang has a chance to really scatter them.
No.
Well, he didn't play it with much pace as I maybe thought there, but he has opened them up nonetheless. In fact, pushing the red to the side cushion has done him a favour because that's a bit of security. If things go wrong here, he won't need that, whereas Higginson will. That's the theory. We get used to watching Judd Trump play, and of course he does play with power. Gets them open as quickly as he can, but there's nothing wrong with a little more, if you like, finesse now and again. Well, it's looking like 2-0, and Andrew Higginson, the ball he potted didn't count, so he's still on 0. Bottom line is all these guys can play. Liang Wenbo's been in a ranking final, as has Andrew Higginson, for that matter. It's a question of bringing it out when it matters, and it matters in matches like this to qualify for the UK Championship. And he'll be a handful if he does qualify. It's still early doors, but he's sort of
25.
Kind of firework of a snooker player, if you like. You chuck him in a room and you know something's going to happen. Maverick, I suppose, would be the word. .66 up, 75 on, red and the colour required for 2-0. Well, there's the difference. He could have gone in off there. He was very close, but he didn't. He's on the blue, which is all he needs to secure the frame. So big concentration required on this blue. In it goes. And it's a bit of an onslaught early doors here. Wenbo's looked very sharp. That long ready knocked in to get in here from the Higginson in off was more evidence of that.
39.
Well, if he's on this or not, it doesn't matter. The frame's over.
46.
He's not, it would seem. But well, it's 169-0 in points so far. Higginson got a chance, but went in off. Higginson may play on just for a bit of table time. Can't blame him for that. Not much chance of winning the frame. He needs, well, 6 snookers, but nothing wrong with playing on just to try and get his hand on the table here. These qualifiers are no longer best of 17, which they were for a long time. Although not every year since the first UK Championship, but for quite a few years they were. So there's less time to settle in. Still first to 6, so possible 9 frames to come. But even so, Higginson has just not been involved yet, and he's seen Liang Wenbo play really well so far. Well, he's going to pop one here.
1.
Well, there you see the scale of his task. Even with a free ball, he's asking a lot. Be interested to see actually if he does play for the snookers or whether he just clears up and, as I say, tries to get his hand on the table. Well, in fact, he's missed and left one on, so all that's academic anyway. So it's going to be 2-0. Liang Wenbo, in fact, gets the chance to knock a few in.
1.
Higginson could have conceded there and it would have been accepted, but it's not actually proper etiquette to do that, to concede when it's your opponent's turn at the table. You do see it, and it's no big deal in this sort of position, but even so, it's the right thing to do, and being a gentleman, he's gone to sit down and give Liang the option to carry on.
Nine.
Well, I'll be surprised now if Higginson can be bothered coming back. In fact, he stays in his seat. So, well, we've been playing 23 minutes and Liang Wenbo leads Andrew Higginson 2-0. Andrew Higginson got to the last 16 2 years ago, lost to Neil Robertson. He, of course, was the man who beat him in the Welsh Open final. That's getting on for 6 years ago now. Doesn't feel it, does it? But that was 9-8 to Robertson. It was 9-5 when they played at the UK 2 years ago. Yes, it all starts a week tomorrow in the beautiful city of York, where it was staged for 5 or 6 years in the early part of the last decade. Went off to Telford, but back in York, a much loved city by the snooker fraternity. Particularly just before Christmas, it's very picturesque with the city all done up for Christmas. And okay, it's best of 11. Not everyone's a fan of that. A lot of people prefer the old best of 17s, but the one good thing is now with the format, every match is televised, whereas before, previous format, half the matches until the quarter-finals were played out of the range of cameras, and it's almost like 2 tournaments were going on. So I think that argument has been kind of put to bed now. The format is what it is. It was a great event last year. Judd Trump beat Mark Allen in that cracking final, arguably the best match of the whole season in any tournament. And we're all looking forward to the event kicking off again a week tomorrow. The question is who will be there. Well, if it's going to be Andrew Higginson, he's got to get going soon here. Trails 2-0. And it's not the scoreline, really, it's just how well Liang Wenbo's played. Fod Lawler's won the first against Marco Fu. Udaloo has levelled 1-1 with Tom Ford. Ken Doherty's 1-0 up against Michael White. Still first frame, Ryan Day, Matt Selt. I thought that might be the quickest of the night. Still could be, but not so far. Well, Liang's knocked a couple in. Let's see how Higginson gets on from distance. Nothing wrong with that one. He's not the sort of player who's going to panic here, 2-0 down. A bit like Liang Wenbo in the major ranking events, he's not really fared that well. PTCs he's done okay, got to a semi-final of one of the British ones earlier in the year. Quarter-finals just last week in Bulgaria, lost out to Judd Trump 4-0. But in the major ranking events, well, he didn't qualify for the Wuxi Classic. He was through to the first round of the Australian Open, but lost to Ryan Day. Lost 5-0 to Steve Davis qualifying for Shanghai International Championship. He lost in the first round, having qualified 6-0 to Sean Murphy.
9.
And that could have been better. That's not ideal. Last thing you want after the start your opponent had was a pressure ball so early on in this frame, but that's what he's got here. This blue could do with going in. Oh, didn't want to catch the yellow. It's just made this red now a little more difficult than intended. He wanted the cue ball closer to the reds, of course. Just caught the yellow, so there's pressure on this as well. Yes, well done.
50.
2 good pots in a row there. That's not worked out though, he's kind of stuck in the middle of the pack.
22.
So it's end of break.
Andrew Higginson, 22.
What a pot that is, by the way. That is brilliant. To the middle. Terrific cueing. Could not have struck that any better. Well, Higginson thought he'd played an all-right safety there, but Liang Wenbo has dug one out, and, well, no one could have struck that any better. Terrific pot.
Eight. Nine.
He looks really up for this. I'm sure that's no great surprise. It's the UK Championship after all, but just got a look in his eye. The look of a man who knows he's playing well. And he certainly has played well so far. This has been an excellent start, and another cracking red to get in here. As I say, it looked like Higginson had played a pretty good safety, but might not make any difference.
$50.
Well, it's okay because there's the red in bulk, and he'll take that, I think.
22.
Opened a couple more up. There's freed a couple at the back of the pack as well, so that's all right. Points level, 22 each.
$23.
Remember the first time I saw him, it was
Wenbo.
at the China Open that Ding Junhui won in Beijing. He was a wild card himself, only a young lad then, 16 or 17. He beat Nigel Bond, and you'd have thought he'd have won the tournament. He was absolutely made up, he was grinning, he was happy. Good to see. He is a character, there's no two ways about it, and that's why it'd be good if he could go back up the world rankings, because snooker needs as many varied and different characters as it can get. Any sport does.
28.
Keep it interesting.
$33.
It's one of those situations in the cluster there where potting one red frees another, which frees another, which frees them all.
41. $42.
Black puts him 27 in front. So 3 reds, 3 blacks here, and it's going to be 3-0. And well, I go back to the ready potty to get in.
49.
Cue ball on the top cushion, potted the red to the middle as if it was over the hole. It certainly wasn't. Liang Wenbo is in seriously good form.
$57.
Well, it's like watching Stephen Hendry in the 90s. Just relentless. As long as he keeps it going, of course, that's the point. Say he's erratic. Of course, the other side to being erratic, playing this well, is all the wheels falling off. But at the moment, this has been just a brilliant start. He needs this black and 1 more red to lead 3-0. He's left this a little thinner than intended. He can pour everything into it, though, because it is frame ball. You'd expect him to pot it.
$66.
Well, great stuff. I'll make it 35 minutes of since we actually started playing. That isn't all playing time, because, of course, there's the odd minute between frames while Leo sets the balls up. So this is swift. It's impressive. It's high quality. It's exactly the sort of snooker you want to produce in any match, let alone to qualify for one of the game's biggest events.
69.
Missed that one, so it's 1 snooker to tie.
Liang Wenbo, 69.
69 break from Liang Wenbo. Could have done with that, really, because obviously Higginson will play on, but even so, he needs a snooker.
One.
Well, there you see it, 1 4-point snooker to tie. That's, of course, taking a black from the last red and then the 6 colours to force a respot. Otherwise, it's 2 snookers to win.
Andrew Higginson,
trying to get in behind blue and yellow. It's not a bad effort. Well, I was going to say, at first I thought he might leave a gap between the two. He may be that he can just swerve around the yellow here. Just off the cushion. Should hit this. May get a snooker back here. Oof. Bit cruel. Well, can Andy just get through the middle of the two here? Well, he can. Look at that. That's incredible. But where's it all going to finish? That's the important thing. Well, he's not left it on. But a chance to lay a snooker of his own here. Of course, it's Higginson who needs the snookers, not Liang Wenbo. Well, it's a big frame if Higginson were to win it from here. And there is still just a bit of anxiety, I guess, from Liang. As long as the red's on the table, Higginson's got half a chance here. 3 balls and all the rest of it. So Liang playing some good safety here. That's a terrific shot. Well, another good shot, and the point is he's got control of the table now. Higginson hoping for the best here. But as I say, Liang has taken control of the safety exchange. That's another great shot. Great shot. Higginson snookered once more. Yeah, that was kind of possible. That in off.
Foul. Liang Wenbo.
And I'm not sure. Well, he's going to concede.
Frame conceded.
Could have been a free ball there, but it doesn't matter anyway because he conceded. It's pretty comprehensive, it's got to be said. Liang Wenbo in all departments he's strong. His potting's great, his break building's strong. He made 69 in that frame. His safety's excellent, and it all adds up to Liang Wenbo leading Andrew Higginson by 3 frames to 0. Well, here are the selected results for you, picking out some of the better known names. Jack Lazowski, good win for young Jack, 6-4 over Joe Perry. Mark King didn't hang around, beat Yao Gudong 6-0. Steve Davis, 6 times the winner of this UK Championship, more than anyone else. He beat Jamie Bennett 6-2. Michael Holt beat Tepchira Nu of Thailand 6-1. Robert Milkins, a 6-5 winner over Rory McLeod. And Dominic Dale beat Ian Burns 6-2. Burns was looking to qualify from the very first qualifying round. It's his first season on the tour. He's done well to get this far, but Dominic, I guess his experience told in the end, and he came through that one. And the latest scores on other tables. Our other stream table, Ken Doherty and Michael White 1 apiece. Rod Lawler leads Marco Fu 1-0. Tom Ford and Hugh DeLu are 1-all. And Matt Selt leads Ryan Day 1-0.
Frame 4, Liang Wenbo to break.
Last frame before the interval, Liang Wenbo would love to get there 4-0 up. He's certainly playing well enough. But it's not to say things can't change. They do so often at this sport, particularly, in fact, after intervals, which is why he does want 4-0. Because 3-1 is not such a lead in the best of 11. Well, Higginson not close there. Green, I think, is in the way of the red between brown and blue. Well, he's just stretching here. He doesn't look comfortable on this. I do think the stretching there just slightly affected the way he played that shot.
White.
Oh, well, that's the last thing he needed really, was to lose the white there. Well, is it worth taking this black to the middle? He'd be on the red. The only problem is, of course, so would Liang Wenbo if he missed. So I suppose 3-0 down, can't really take such a risk. He's taking it on. Had to get it. There was big
And
pressure on that, and it
Higginson,
wasn't easy anyway. It didn't matter about the position in the match. If it had been 0-0, that would have been tough. Decided to go for it, but as I said before he played it, he was always going to leave this red. So Liang Wenbo with another chance to get going. In fairness to Higginson, the safety wasn't much easier really. Red's down the table.
Six. Seven.
Wanted a fuller initial cannon there. He's shaking his head. He's lost position
12.
here. So just a safety. No big break this time. He's had 89 and 69 in the match so far.
Liang Wenbo, 12. Well, Liang Wenbo, 4.
Well, Andrew Higginson must be wondering who he's upset here, because everything's going wrong. This red is not simple, but based on what we've seen, he's favoured to knock it in.
One.
Never in doubt, really, was it? And he's nicely on the blue. Great shot. Great chance to get going again. Second scoring visit of the frame. Can he make it pay this time? Well, he's held the spot, so the blue goes on the black spot. Next highest available.
6. Seven. Twelve. $13.
Well, he's slightly underhit this. So in and out of balk. Has to avoid everything, which he's not done. He's hit the black, so that's gone wrong. It's the previous shot, of course. Underhit it.
18.
Left himself with that blue in and out of balk, and it's gone wrong. So that's 2 chances he's had in this frame. So important in snooker, in any sport, once you get your opponent metaphorically on the ropes, you've got to keep punching. Don't let them get back up. That's why he just shook his head there.
Liang Wenbo,
I think this is a big frame now. If Higginson could find a way back in and take it, then there's a chance to regroup after the interval. We've seen Steve Davis this week won from 4-0 down against Pankaj Advani, but 3-1 down. Plenty of players have won from there. 4-0 would be more difficult, I think. This cuts, by the way, into the middle. Not close, I'm afraid. Well, he's actually rivaling Advani here for the billiards stakes, because he's had so many in-offs in this match. Of course, in billiards it's a deliberate shot. Pankaj Advani recently won the World Professional Billiards title. Well, another one sails in. So 3rd scoring visit for Wenbo. And he's already, well, he's 38 in front with that red. Kind of saw a match a little like this earlier on this afternoon. I commentated on Michael Holt against Tepchire Nu, and although Tepchire did kick off with a ton, after that he made so many mistakes that he just didn't put Michael Holt under pressure, and you just felt that however many chances Holt was given, eventually it would be enough, and it was, and he won 6-1. And this match is kind of following a similar pattern. Liang Wenbo, even when he makes mistakes, he's not being punished, and he's just getting enough chances right now to edge towards a 4-0 interval lead inside an hour. Well, that's a delightful shot. That could be the frame winner.
14.
Well, Andrew Higginson and his supporters might not agree, but I think certainly any neutrals out there would be very impressed with Liang Wenbo, and would be, more importantly than that, pleased to see him playing well again. He's had his problems. He's slipped down the rankings, as I mentioned, down to 42nd. He's a much better player than 42nd in the world. He was briefly in the top 16. It was the time when the ranking system changed. He was one of the losers in the change and never really recovered from it. There's still time, though,
23.
for him to get going again. He's only 25. And he's, well, 1 ball away here. Make that 2, because he'd be 67 up with 67 on. But he's not going to miss this, so he's going to be 4-0 at the interval. And that, to be fair, is an accurate reflection on what we've seen. This has been really one-sided.
31. Up to 8. Up to 9. Forty-four. 45.
Well, he can just enjoy these moments. The frame well and truly over, and in inside an hour he's going to be 4-0 to the good. And, as I say, well worthy of that lead. Higginson's had a couple of chances, but nothing's really gone for him.
50. $51.
Well, we did have a 6-0 today. Mark
58.
King beat Yagu Dong by way of whitewash. China striking back
59.
here against England in the shape of Liang Wenbo, who's going to be 2 frames from the whitewash when they return.
$66. 68. 71. 75.
Looking lively around the table, playing quickly, confidently. Practices quite a bit with Judd Trump, Jack Lazowski at the Grove in Romford,
80.
which, well, that's got to be good for you, hasn't it? Judd Trump World #1, Jack's qualified today. Whatever it is that he's changed, it's working. Go on, Liang, not the blacking. That's it, 93 then, the clearance.
In the frame, Liang Wenbo.
Completely on top. He started, it could have been a maximum, miscued on 89 on the black. 69 in the third, 93 in the fourth. It's a bit of a walkover, frankly, isn't it? Andrew Higginson's got it all to do. He needs this interval to get himself together. After less than an hour's play, Liang Wenbo leads Andrew Higginson by 4 frames to 0. Quickly, I'll run down the other scores. Ken Doherty 2-1 down to Michael White. That's on our other stream if you want to watch that one now. Tom Ford and Udaloo 1 each. Marco Fu and Rod Lawler 1 each. Matt Selt leads Ryan Day 1-0. Here it's 4-0 to Liang Wenbo. We'll be back after the break.
It's difficult because you're getting told what shot.
Well, let's see if the break, the interval, has made any difference to this match. It's 4-0 to Liang Wenbo, and if you were watching earlier on, I think you'd agree that 4-0 was the right scoreline. Sometimes frames are much closer than the scoreline suggests. This match hasn't been. Liang Wenbo's made breaks of 89. He got he miscued on the black on 89 on the maximum. 69.93. Higginson yet to really score. He's had a couple of chances. A couple of in-offs have cost him, actually. Liang has potted well, made those big breaks I mentioned, and his safety's been excellent as well. So all round he's played well. He's just got to close the deal now. He leads 4-0, he needs 2 more, and he'll play Barry Hawkins in York a week tomorrow in the first round proper. One thing about that match against Hawkins, Barry, this time next week, will be playing in the final qualifying round of the German Masters. It's a slightly different format. There's just 2 qualifying rounds. 10 of the top players having their matches held over to Berlin. Everyone else, including top 16 players, are having to qualify. But his match in York is the following morning at 11 o'clock, so there's not a lot of time there between matches as Higginson knocks in that good long red. I mean, what time could Barry expect to be finished by this time next week? Maybe 10:30? Sheffield and York are pretty close, but you've still got to get there. Won't get to bed much before midnight. The match starts 11 o'clock the next morning. Not ideal by any means.
Four.
Liang Wenbo, if he were to win his first match in that German qualifying against Paul Davison, will play Graham Dott. That would be Friday morning, so he would have more time to just get ready for York.
5.
Not a big deal, I'm sure, but strikes me a bit of common sense could have come into play. They could surely have just swapped the times round so that he wouldn't have to play an evening and then a morning. But that's for him, I guess, to sort out. If he's got any problems, I'm sure he'll raise them. Meanwhile, we continue with Higginson at the table. Well, the red wriggles in, but that's enough right now. He just needs to try and get a nice break together here, get involved in the match. As I say, best of 11, 4-0 down. Still time to turn it round. Well, he's just about going to get there, I think. Is he? Well, he's just kind of kicking it with, or trying to will it past the bunch. I think he is still on this, just about. Just caught the other red, and that means this black is a little more difficult than intended. It's kind of summed up the match. Nothing's come easy for Higginson. Oh, missed the black. Skimmed off the pack, caught the angle, and he's going to leave a red on. That's incredible. Those 3 things happening, all conspiring against him. Missing the black is bad for him. Catching the angle is bad for him because it stopped the white going into bolt. And then coming back across to leave the red on, obviously even worse because he's left it for Liang Wenbo. It's, maybe the interval hasn't made any difference.
Thank you. 1.
Not sure the black goes, but I think he's on the pink. Well, this is going to hurt Higginson if Liang Wenbo were to do some serious damage from
7.
this position, because it was a triple whammy that got him in.
It's
queued so well since the start of the match, you would think the interval's not going to make much difference to his overall concentration, his overall game plan. Well, look at this. Couldn't have played that much better. Where's the pink going to go, though? That's the only... Well, it's on the black spot. That's okay.
14.
He's away again.
$15. $21. $22.
Well, it's a walk in the snooker park, whatever that means for Liang Wenbo. He's looks so comfortable, not been put under pressure, but you've still got to pop them, and he's well, look at this for a stance. Not every player could play it like this, or certainly get off the table again.
29.
But no muscles pulled, it would seem. No, just looks so comfortable, and it's good to see. He is, as I said, right at the start, a bit of a maverick. But that's why, I guess, he's popular. You never really know what you're going to get from him. Tonight, we've got a masterclass. Oh, and just as I say that, he misses a straight red. Well, on such things, matches have turned round. Maybe it's not quite a masterclass after all.
One. Eight. Nine.
Well, it's now or never for Andrew. It's got to start here. It's got to win the frame here, you feel, for confidence. And you never know then. He could start to play a bit, but he's been given an unexpected lifeline here. It's up to him to grab it. That was a really surprising miss from Liang. He looked a certainty to go 5-0 there. And you would have fancied 6-0 after that. But you never know. 4-1. Slightly different story. But even this red, he's just left slightly awkward. Just cutting it back a little. Yes, well
15.
done. There is a red on the cushion, top cushion, which could come into play here. Liang Wenbo, it's the one he missed actually, just as he was going along nicely.
Yeah. $18. $19.
So he's played on the red on the cushion. There's also the yellow on the cushion, it's worth pointing out
26.
as well. So he's not out of the woods even if he pots this and gets on the black. Well, the red's
27.
in, so that yellow is looking key now. It'd be a good frame to win, purely because Liang Wenbo looked a certainty a few minutes ago.
$35.
So this is the shot, blue to yellow.
$40.
Now he's looking at the scoreboard here. He's going to need the green as well. He's 20 in front on this yellow, so he needs the green as well to leave Liang Wenbo needing a snooker. There you are. He was playing for the green.
Andrew
That
Higginson, 40.
caused him to miss the yellow, just playing with a bit of pace. And well, he's not left it on, but even so, he's not won the frame from it either. So he's 20 in it on the colours. And what a big moment this is. You've got to feel that this is key for Higginson. If he can win the frame here, still a chance to come back. But 5-0, obviously a long, long way back from there. And the bad news for him is that Liang Wenbo's safety's been good so far. And this looks excellent. Look at this. Well, this is trouble now because there's nothing safe. So even if he hits this, if he leaves it on, then Liang Wenbo has got the colours basically on their spots. Who knows exactly where he played the cue ball there, but he won't mind where it's finished. Well, he nearly potted that, actually. Now he needs some cover here. He hasn't got it. So this is a chance, not absolutely straightforward, but a chance nonetheless. What a big moment in the match. If he can knock the yellow in, get on the green, the clearance is surely going to be his, the way he's played so far. Oh, hang on. Oh, he nearly fluked it. That would have been cruel. Because he wasn't really close with the pot, and he has left it on for Higginson, who needs yellow and green. Well, nearly potted it twice there. Closer the second time. Dear, dear. Well, he's pointing at it. I don't know whether he's saying that was a kick or what, but he's missed it. Either way.
True.
Well, they're on their
5.
spots. Higginson's back in his seat. Liang Wenbo needs all 4 for 5-0. And I said right at the start, I thought this match would be close.
Nine.
Well, he's got to just keep calm here, hasn't he? Earlier on in the match, this would have looked a certainty, but he knows how important this little visit is. Because 5-0 is it's a great lead. So it's the black for that 5-0 lead. Higginson missed the yellow, he only needed the green as well. Oh, he's missed the black. Well,
Liang Wenbo, 20.
That's a surprise. He wasn't okay, he could have been easier on it, but you'd expect him to pop that. That can only be pressure.
Yeah.
Well, not too close with that one. I think, again, he wasn't happy with the contact. Liang Wenbo's having the white cleaned. Well, I think it seems odd to say that the nerves have affected Liang. He's 4-0 up, but I think they did there, but he's got, well, the frame's still going, put it that way. He's got a reprieve. Well, he had a go at it. Higginson, certainly if he were to go 5-0 down, I think even he would feel that it was beyond him. 4-1 though, might just get him going. So this one ball here, put it this way, if Higginson wins the match, this is the moment we'll look back on in a few hours' time. It wasn't that far away, was it? He's knocked in some great balls, in fairness, in the match, Liang Wenbo, so nothing wrong with going for that. Well, you can't beat a good old black ball battle in any frame, in any match, in any tournament. It's always interesting to see how it pans out, a bit like a penalty shootout in football. Whole careers have swung round on the basis of a black ball battle. Dennis Taylor could tell you that. In fact, if you ever see him, he will tell you. Gone for it again. Now, where's it going to finish this time? It's not looking good for Andrew Higginson. He needs it to run to the cushion, really. He needs it to run. It's not quite made it. Oh, well, what's going to happen next in this frame? This isn't in yet. Well, he's missed an easier black than this, off its spot. But he's potted that one. It's a great pot in the end.
7 in the frame.
It's 5-0. Yeah. Big frame that. But Andrew Higginson, he twice missed the yellow. Attempted a couple of doubles on the black, but he's not happened for him right from the off tonight. And Liang Wenbo has taken advantage. He leads 5-0. He needs one more, and he will qualify for the final stages next week. Higginson's had a couple of whitewashes this season. He lost to Steve Davis 5-0 in the Shanghai Masters. He lost in the International Championship, 6-0 to Sean Murphy, and just last week in Bulgaria, quarter-finals of the European Tour event there, he lost 4-0 to Judd Trump. And he's staring at another 0 on that scoreboard this evening. Michael White has resumed 3-1 upon Ken Doherty. That's our other streaming match this evening. Tom Ford 3-1 over Udaloo. Ryan Day 2-1 over Matt Selt. Marco Fu's just gone 3-1 up on Rod Lawler. But how much more snooker are we going to get in this match? Well, that was a bitter blow for Higginson there. Well, you can understand him being frustrated, and his main task now is to avert the whitewash. But he's got to wait a little while before Liang Wenbo comes back. Well, these are the selected results, some interesting ones. Luca Bressel beat Peter Ebden 6-1, so 17 years of age from Belgium. Bressel through to the final stages. Fergal O'Brien beat Dave Gilbert 6-2. Mark Joyce 6-4 over Jamie Cope. Chow Yu Peng having a great year, 6-4 over Marcus Campbell. Martin Gould, of course, dropped out the top 16, so first time in about a year he's had to qualify for a tournament. He beat Ben Wollaston, a good player from Leicester, 6-3.
Frame 6, Liang Wenbo to break.
So Liang Wenbo back in the arena looking for one more frame to qualify. A bit different from last night when he was taking the distance before beating Anthony McGill 6-5. He leads 5-0 here, and one more, and he will play Barry Hawkins next week in York.
One. Foul. Nice.
Well, that's the sort of shot that 30 years ago
Higginson,
would end up on the BBC compilation tape at the end of the tournament, set to some jaunty music. But he's not laughing. Complete miscue. Jumped over the black into the pocket. The only good news is he's 5-0 up. So he can kind of forget about it. But it's the second time he's done that because, of course, he miscued first frame on the black on 89 when he was on for the 147. As David Vine would have put it, something the backroom boys have cooked up. Well, Andrew Higginson banging his cue. That is not something you often see, but it's just a sign of his frustration. It's just not been a nice evening for him. Well, I suppose Liang can kind of afford to take those on. Fancy's potting everything at the minute.
Thank you. One.
Not happening, is
Andrew
it?
Higginson,
it's not happening, and you got to feel it's not going to now. Sadly for Andrew, he's a lovely bloke, by the way. Not that that means anything really once you get out there, but he can play a lot better than this. We've seen him play a lot better than this many times, but tonight, not to be, it would seem.
One.
Next week it's the German Masters qualifiers, and before that there's 2 days of qualifying in the last European Tour event. It'll be played in Munich, but they're playing a couple of rounds here in Sheffield, so there'll be some star names in action. All the top players have got to qualify for that. No one's guaranteed to be there, so that's coming up Monday and Tuesday.
8.
And then Wednesday to Friday it's the German qualifying, German Masters qualifying. And then the next 9 days, of course, after that, it's the UK Championship. And if you think that's it before Christmas, well, not at all, because the Ravenscraig PTC, European Tour 5th event, is the week after the UK.
Liang
Now, that was a
Wenbo,
strange
8.
shot. I think he caught another red there with the red he played. That was first outing of the word this evening, a little careless.
One.
He's on this blue.
Six. Seven.
Well, there might be a bit of feeling in this shot. Into the pink, into the red, split them. Oh dear, he's missed the blue. Oh
Andrew
dear,
Higginson,
dear, dear.
7.
Well, that kind of sums it all up for Andrew Higginson. He played it well as well, the actual split. Couldn't have played it better, but he's missed the blue. Disaster.
One. Eight. Nine.
Well, it's help yourself time, and this could be the end coming up. Good chance to win it now.
$16. $17. $24. 25.
Well, these qualifiers are tough. Liang Wenbo
41.
discovered that last night when he was taken to a decider by Anthony McGill, but tonight He's not been put under really any pressure, and he's played well also, so all combined, it's really one-sided. And that last shot Higginson played kind of summed it up. He played a good shot, actually, to split them, but the blue stayed out. So he left Liang Wenbo bang in, and he's just looking to kill it off here.
49.
Well, Higginson will be disappointed, of course, with his performance, but Liang Wenbo, I'll tell you what, he's played well, and he's going to be a handful in York. He plays Barry Hawkins first up. It's a tough one for Barry, because Liang's going to go there full of confidence.
48.
Particularly, of course, if he qualifies next week for Germany as well.
$55. $56.
Well, he's finished off as we rather expected him to do from that chance. Higginson,
63.
Nothing really positive to take from this match for him.
64.
It's just one to forget. The good news, of course, these days, there's more snooker to come. He's got 2 tournaments next week, the PTC qualifier and the German Masters qualifier, but the UK Championship is an event he would have grown up watching. Be very disappointed not to be in the final stages. It's a big event,
71.
and he's not in it after this visit, I'm afraid. But Liang Wenbo hit the ground running, didn't he? He made that good break in the first frame. Could have been a 147, miscued on the black on 89. Yeah, breaks a 69.93 after that. The black ball frame, the fifth, kind of broke, I think, Higginson's resolve once and for all. And he was unlucky, really.
78.
Or maybe you could criticise and say it was a bad shot. Either way, missed the blue and split them nicely.
80.
Left Liang Wenbo in, and this could be a century to finish. Can't really do much better than this. 6-0 against a top quality opponent.
83.
Liang Wenbo, 42nd in the world rankings, but on this performance, he's only going to go up.
87.
Really good all-round display, this.
92. 98.
So, black to finish with a century. Terrific. Terrific performance.
105 frame.
Best I've seen him play in a long, long time. He finishes with 105. And he wins 6-0. I don't think that's a result many people would have predicted before play began. So Liang Wenbo races through in no time at all to the final stages. He'll play Barry Hawkins, the very first session on the 1st of December, on the Saturday. They're up at 11 in the morning. And as I say, if he plays like this, he'll be a handful there. He reached the quarterfinals 3 years ago. And really strong display, proving there just how well he can play. So Liang Wenbo very pleased with his performance, finished with a